Hi, everybody, and welcome again to The Grey Area, the podcast where everything is not always black and white. Today, we decided to change it up a bit and talk about something that's really important. That is handling stress in what is a very, very stressful environment, the insurance industry. Today, we share some insight about what the triggers are, how do we handle it, and provide our own personal experiences through this episode. So, now that we're talking about mental wellness, right? How do we identify it? Or what is, actually, let's start with the basics. Like, what is the state of mental wellness in
That
this?
is, that is so important because I think we just go from day to day in our routine,
Yeah.
and sometimes we don't even realize that we're in a burnout state or that we're running on fumes. And I think when I hear someone say to me a lot, I'm tired, I'm tired, I'm tired, sometimes that can be taken for granted, right? Because
Yeah.
we're all running around and we're all tired and we've all got a million things on the go. But when it's repeated, if I have a staff member that's repeatedly saying to me,
Yeah.
I'm tired, I'm tired, I'm tired, I think that is, in fact, the first sign of burnout.
Like a red flag.
Yes, it's a red flag. When
Yeah.
someone is constantly tired, I mean, you shouldn't. I don't think it's natural to be tired to that extent every day, unless you're in a state of burnout.
And I think sometimes because of the expectations, right? We're in such a high stakes environment. I think a lot of people feel afraid to admit, listen, yeah, I'm tired. Or they become so robotic that they
Yeah,
just carry on doing whatever they can with the fuel that they have in
yeah.
them, but not doing something about it.
But it's also this thing of the glorification of busy.
Yes.
Yeah, so this was something that came out, a study that came out a few years ago, where they said that people feel if that I'm saying I'm always busy, I'm always going, then you're kind of showing your output.
Yeah.
Um, but does that busy culture or busy mentality always mean that you're being productive?
And that's exactly what I wanted to say, because busy is not productive.
Yeah,
Because if you're not in the best state to perform,
yeah,
how do you bring out the best work or produce the best work? Because I would feel, because I know myself, right? When I am feeling exhausted, or if I have that anxiety, or I feel that my mind is cluttered with something else, I don't have that focus. I
mm,
don't feel that I'm performing at my peak.
mm,
And so I need to find a way to actually recoup or get back to myself.
yeah, yeah. And it's so unfortunate that we have become entwined in this kind of rat race where we feel the need to prove how busy we are every day. But we are actually busy. We actually have so many things going on, and on top of that, we want to prove that we so busy that we're working till 11 at night, that we working through our lunch hours, not taking our sick days, not taking our annual leave, not going on holiday. Um, I think it's important to show loyalty to a company,
Yes.
but there's a very, very fine line between being loyal and putting your own health at stake for that purpose.
100%. Because I remember when I got into specialist liability, my first boss always told me, and I remember I was sick and I was there at work that day, and she's like, "Why are you here?"
Mm,
And she was like, "If you're not come here," and she's like, "But if you're not right, how are you going to perform?
yeah,
Or how are you going to do things better for yourself?" So there needs to be that emphasis that in order for you to perform or to be your best, you need to recoup or take that time out or do whatever it is that helps you navigate that situation.
and you would think post-COVID that that mindset has changed, but to me it seems that the mindset of work, 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 work 24/7 to prove your mettle to a company is returning.
But do you think it's also like a lot of people feel that if they, this is what success means, that if they are able to just work, work, work and be busy, this is,
Do you
they
think
have,
so?
I don't know, some people have a different view of success.
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't know if people think that probably working a lot or showing that you're busy all the time or that you're unavailable,
mm,
it's probably human nature to think that my worth is more if I can show that my time is always taken.
yeah, That's true, but I guess also people are under a lot of pressure because nowadays, companies will build productivity reports and stuff
Yeah.
like that.
Mm.
And now imagine you may be working in a different way, but it doesn't reflect on the report. Then you kind of singled out, or
Yeah.
how do you then distinguish, or how do you separate that from the notion of productivity and actual work?
I don't know. I mean, I think it's different for different
Yeah,
insurance companies. Some insurance companies can very effectively target productivity on a productivity report,
yeah,
whereas others, kind of in our lines, you wouldn't really see productivity shown on a productivity report because there's a lot of behind the scenes going on, right?
yeah.
Um, yeah, but you raise a valid point. What does a productivity report do to your mental well-being?
I mean, if I'm like, imagine if I'm like sitting at the bottom three, I'd be like, what have I done with my life? But that's just me, right?
Yeah,
Like, I'd be like, because sometimes I know with me, I can be very hard on myself,
yeah,
right? If things don't go a certain way, and I've had to learn to let go of certain things that are not within
mm,
my control, or just pull back. So, like, I think also when you grow up, right, you kind of have, if you've always been performing or performing well, and then when you see a report and you're not sitting where you should be, because I
yes,
think we define ourselves as successful in terms of that
yes,
ranking,
ranking, yeah,
right?
yeah.
And it plays on your mind.
No, definitely. And as much as you try to not make it play on your mind, still it continues to play on your mind because that's the way we were hardwired.
And then you think I'm not worth it. Like you feel like your value is diminished somehow.
Yes. So are productivity reports really effective?
I think to an extent, but I think you have to also take context into account,
Mm,
because type of work may vary, right? And
mm,
also think about it, each person has their own way of working, right?
yeah,
What may take me maybe 5 minutes may take someone 10 minutes,
mm,
or but we're doing the same thing
yeah,
and we're doing it according to the process. So
yeah,
it's a different scenario.
yeah, yeah. So I wonder about the productivity reports and the effectiveness of it. But you're right. You're right. People have different ways of working, and how do you put it to one measure stick?
Yeah.
Because probably someone can come out to a better result than you by doing it in a different way, but just because they're not doing it according to the way it's measured,
Yes.
yes, then they feel as if they're doing something wrong.
And sometimes that can play on a person,
Mm.
psychologically.
Yeah.
But then how do we like build that balance, or like, I mean, what is it that? But I think that lies with the person, right? How do you take things?
Mm.
Because it's very difficult to measure your self worth and value according to a report, I feel.
I think so. I think so. But I think that there are ways, I think, of brainwashing people into believing that their self worth is tied to a report. I mean, it's not like it gives you bad information,
Yes,
right?
it can give you good
It can
info.
give you
Yeah.
it can give you good stats of what a person is really doing. Um, yeah,
These are tough ones to actually navigate on their productivity.
it
That's the thing.
is. It is a tough one. But I mean, just running that hamster wheel every day, that I think is a major cause of burnout. And I think people need to get back to a place where you can say, listen, work is over now. It's time for me to focus on other things because work can't be your entire life. You can't be you can't be brandishing your profession 24/7, right?
You need to switch off.
You
I
need to
think you
switch
need
off
to
and you need to have your own identity as well.
you need
Your
to
identity can't be so tied into your work that you don't understand because what did we come to this planet for anyway?
to live,
To
to
live, right?
breathe,
To
to
yes,
enjoy.
to enjoy life.
Yeah.
And are you enjoying your life by being the brand ambassador for your company 24/7?
I find it very unhealthy.
Mm-hmm.
Because here's the thing, right? When it comes to a person, there's more that you need for yourself so that you can be fulfilled,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
I think every person has a purpose, and yes, work will always be one component, but there's family, then there's your hobbies, then there's your interests, then there's your other passions and pursuits that you may have. So I think it's so important to pursue those as well. Yes, you have this one aspect, but you shouldn't become so consumed that it becomes your only identity.
Hmm. And I think a lot of people, from what I see, is that they go to work and then they come home and just bed rot because you're so
Exhausted.
exhausted by the time you get home. But I mean, there's more to life. I used to have this boss, well, it was when I was doing my articles, and he said, um, don't only live for the weekends.
Yeah.
You can't only have the whole week work and sleep, work and sleep, work and sleep, and then look forward to doing things on the weekends. Like you've got a day every day where you can actually do something meaningful, and you should take those opportunities, even if it's a Tuesday, even if it's a Wednesday.
I definitely agree because I think we've become so programmed. As a race, as a species, we're very programmed because, like, we are Monday, then we know it's like waiting for Friday. And someone always told me, um, Monday is no, Friday is actually 2 days closer to Monday. So you kind of
You're waiting for Monday.
you're waiting for Monday again. So you kind of take away from something that you can be enjoying in your life,
Exactly, yeah.
right?
And I mean that weekend is so fast. It's 2 days and then it's over and done with. What can you really get? How can you really get anything meaningful out of those 2 days? Because now you're still doing your shopping and you're still doing your running around and you're still taking this person here over the weekends. Can you really get to rest?
I feel like those weekends then become like, at work you have admin. I
Yeah,
think over the weekend you have personal
personal admin.
admin,
Yeah.
which I think can be cut out if you kind of have like better routines,
Mm.
because then also you have that time to take the time out to like reset,
Mm.
to get in the rest. Because I feel like, sometimes when you see people online at hectic times, or then you see them online super early, and I'm thinking, when do you ever sleep?
Yeah.
But I know some have told me they prefer to work at night, right? They feel
Night
like they
shift.
perform, yeah, they perform better at night, right?
So let's break that one down, right?
Yeah,
You up the whole day from 5 a.m., right?
yeah.
And okay, you've been up from 5 a.m., you doing your thing the entire day, and then you're still going to be working at 1 a.m. in the morning. Where do
I
you get a chance to
reboot
reboot or revitalize yourself?
because I know myself, right? I know after a certain time, I always used to say, "Don't ask me intelligent questions," because I just couldn't think.
Yeah,
Because I needed, and even during a day, even if I'm focusing on something, I do need a bit of a breakaway
yeah,
to go focus on something else, and then I feel like, okay, I can do this.
yeah,
Because I feel like when I'm in that zone, I get exhausted, or then I start losing focus, and I just want to finish something for the sake of finishing it,
yeah.
instead of being like, I'm doing this because I need to get it done to the best of the best that I can. It just becomes like a close the file quickly.
Yeah.
But what advice would you give, like, especially to young people, right? Because I feel like a lot of young people don't really know how to handle work pressures, and a lot of people are battling with an anxiety and
You
stress.
think so?
I
I
think
wonder
so.
not because I think Gen Z is doing it better than any
I think
other
so.
generation has done it because they know where to draw the line.
Boundaries. They'll tell you, no, I
Yes,
don't want to do this, or
yes,
this is not
yes.
in my job spec.
It's not in my job description.
Have
It's
you
not
ever
in my
said that?
it's not in my job description, no.
Neither have I. So, but I
But
can
that's a
imagine,
problem.
yeah.
Like, why didn't we ever say that? We were doing things that were not in our job description for the longest time.
Because we weren't Gen Z.
Because we were Gen Z. We just thought, you know what? If I do whatever they tell me to do, it's gonna get me.
I think it's that idea of glorification again,
Yes,
and the
yeah.
idea of success.
I'm gonna be successful. I'm gonna be the next CEO if I just do whatever they tell me to do.
Yeah,
But what does it get you? It just gets you burnout.
it does, and that's a terrible position to be in now, because now you're going to have to take the time out
Yeah,
to recoup, recover.
yeah.
But then the problem with that is, I feel like a lot of people, they'll take the time out, but then they'll still go back to that unhealthy habit.
Habits, yeah.
So how do we change that?
How do we change that? I think it needs to be a huge drive towards self-awareness.
Yeah,
And it's kind of a catch-22 because this can only come from your company, right?
yeah.
But then at the same time,
It's
I'm
also you.
sure it's you, yes, but I'm sure your company also doesn't want to say to you, you know what, stop. working, because then you can take it to the extreme. So it's a balancing act where you need to know that you are safe in an environment to be able to switch off.
So that's a culture thing, right?
It's a culture thing,
Okay.
yeah, it's a culture thing. And if you feel that you are not a safe enough environment where as you have to work till 11 o'clock at night, after you've clocked in a whole day at the office, then that is definitely a red flag in terms of culture, I would say.
But I also think for the person, that would also build in that fear. It would also build in maybe that resentment internally. Like, I'm doing all of this, but I'm also now kind of like not coping.
Yes, well, you hear that all the time. Like, oh, they're concerned that I came in 5 minutes late, but when I worked until 3 a.m. this morning.
Always hear that, right?
Always, why do people always say that? I'm like, okay, firstly, you shouldn't have worked till 3 a.m. in the morning.
Exactly. Knock off. That's it. The rest of the world is sleeping.
Yeah. So I think it needs to be a huge drive, and it needs to be a mindset shift. Which, how is that gonna come about? I don't know, because there's this very specific mindset where people are always like, I have to be busy. I have to be busy. I have to. My worth is not going to be valued unless I can show that I'm busy all the time.
But then again, it goes back to the individual and doing that introspection of what is the self-worth, and also the mindfulness and awareness. Like you said, self-awareness is so important.
Yeah, you need to really say to yourself, what do I bring to the table? Do I bring to the table staying up till midnight, or do I bring to the table considered value during working hours?
And I think you can do it. You can, and I think it goes down to boundaries. It goes down to discipline. It goes down to their focus. But also, you need to be in the best form of mind and able to also be all of that.
And I always think to myself, now we senior citizens now, right? We don't have long left to be on this planet.
Okay.
So
senior citizens.
How have we been raised in a way to think that we reach this pinnacle of success, right? And then what? You just keep going for the next thing and the next thing and the next thing, right? But at what cost? And are you really enjoying yourself through doing all of that? Because life is short.
Life is short, but I think also sometimes there's that, like, people not being aware of what is their purpose.
Yeah.
Remember, we always used to say that people use the word "I'm passionate," and I don't like the use of that word.
Yeah.
Like, what exactly are you passionate about?
Yeah.
I would rather say, what is my purpose? Because then I know I'm doing something with that full intent. Something that really gets me up every morning, that drives me, that makes me feel so infused and fueled that I'm ready to take on the world. Like, I feel vibrant to it. I don't feel, oh God, I'm doing this again.
So if you're in a job, well, I think that everybody says that's the test of culture, the Sunday night.
Yes.
If your employees are feeling very scared on a Sunday night, then that means your culture there's something flawed within it.
Because I mean, like, think about it, right? You spend a lot of time at work, and you shouldn't be stressing about having to go into work. You should be like, yes, I'm going. I'm going to enjoy it.
And it's so doable these days, Nance. Because, I mean, we don't work in environments anymore where people are so stringent. And where people have got, like, you need to take a 45-minute lunch, and you need to be back exactly on time. The clock in. Exactly. We don't work in those environments anymore. There's some type of free reign that we have nowadays.
Also the trust element, right?
There's also the trust element.
Because you are hiring professionals and people that you can trust.
And what I've always thought but never understood about a corporate structure is that when you see people abusing trust, why would you not take it up with those people individually, but rather you want to impose rules on the entire group that is going to piss off people that are sticking to the rules? It's going to make them feel some type of way.
Because that type of collective punishment goes back to building in that resentment. Because, you always hear people say, because of this person now.
Yes. Because of this person, we have to come 5 days a week.
She's like, I don't answer phones. But remember, you're supposed to take your calls.
Please answer your phone.
Always answer your calls. But it's true. You see this in real life where people are like so like
Yes,
they
but
know who the person is that did something.
yes, but now everybody must suffer because of the one
Yeah.
person that has some type of attitude about it. So I think that there needs to be really a complete revamp of the way people see things. You know, the old corporate structures that probably benefited a few and probably killed a lot of other people. I don't think there's really a place for them anymore.
I think it's changed. The world has evolved.
Mm.
I think you know I've always seen a lot of people working in different ways and working different times, right?
Mm.
But they're working in that way where it actually enhances their way of life instead of takes away from them. Where they're able to do certain things with their family at a certain time, they're able to do this. So, and for me, that is so fulfilling because my biggest fear is wasting my time on this planet. Like, I want to love it out legally and have the best time, but also I don't want to be like constantly so stressed out about things. But I also think it's about letting go of things that you can't control.
Yeah. And I mean, you mentioned family. As a woman in corporate, you're not, it's like a swear word to say that you have a family or that you have children. If it's not a man that's coming for you or that is kind of belittling the fact that that you're a mom, then it's a younger woman that doesn't have any kids that wants to harp on it all the time.
There's always kind of like a, should I say snotty comment or like
Yes.
a microaggression that's like
Yes.
thrown in your way. Like,
Yes. Yes. And I mean, you know, even if I had to go for any type of, if it was a business lunch or an interview or anything, always. But how do you plan on managing your kids through this transition? I mean, really, it's none of your business.
but you think they should even be asking, like, do you have kids?
No, they shouldn't, but they do.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
I've always wondered, like, look at me for my ability and what I can bring to the table, right?
Yes.
Because I'm sure as a parent, you are able to multitask because now you have this little human that you're responsible, but your life, you've also been able to maintain this professional life. So there's so much more to a person than just this one facet where they're balancing so many roles, but they do it. So I do tend to get a bit upset when those type of things are leveled at people. And I mean, even people that maybe don't have kids, but that do have family responsibilities.
Yes.
You know, you'll always get that like jab.
The jab, yeah. But I mean, it's part of life, and it doesn't mean that you're doing your job any less effectively because you are attending to things that do not fall within the realm of your work. I am always wary of people that say that work is their whole life.
Yeah.
Because how are you working effectively? You're not if you are only focusing on one thing the entire day.
Because I think the biggest thing is that you lose your identity also, right? You lose yourself.
Yeah.
Because each of us come with our own unique personalities, interests, and that's what makes things so interesting, right?
Yeah.
But if you only focus on one, it can cause some serious mental health issues.
And in the case of we're having jobs like ours where we are passionate about it.
I find purpose in my work.
Okay,
Purpose.
in the case of having jobs like ours where we find deep purpose in the work that we do, if you are forced to do it all the time just to put on a show that you are actually doing something, then that purpose very quickly becomes a job. Then it very much becomes like you're doing a job where rather than following your purpose. And you could have a career that you really love, but because of the stress of it all, you stop loving it.
It can change the way you see it. Because I think if you don't handle situations properly, it does go back to that resentment or dislike. When it's a perfectly fine, it's something that you really love. It was a labor of love before. Now it becomes like
this again.
Yeah. And the next day, oh no, this again.
Yeah.
And is that really what you want in life?
No. And it doesn't really add to initiative and collaboration and pushing the profession forward
Yeah.
if you are in a state of burnout and hating every day of your life at work?
Because remember something, collaboration and moving forward requires something from you, right? The willingness to impart knowledge, transfer, but you need to be in a good state to do it. Because if you in your little zone focus on how to actually just cope with the stress, there's nothing else that you're going to be focusing on. And it's very easy to lose yourself if you don't find the right ways to deal with stress or anxiety or your fears. And that's why it's always going to come down like coaching and mentoring are good ways, good avenues for people or good mechanisms that people can utilize to help them, you know.
So how would coaching and mentoring help with stress relief?
I think it allows for that introspection. I always say like coaching is one of the biggest things which really allows people to dig deep and think about it from their self.
Yeah.
You know, but again, you need to, as a person, you need to have that be open to these things to think. Because sometimes as human beings, we don't want to admit when something's wrong, right? Because if you're in this rat race and you're so robotic and you're like, I'm coping, but you're heading towards burnout, you don't openly want to confess or you want to say, maybe you feel shame or you just don't want to acknowledge it. So I think acknowledgement is the main thing. Self-awareness, mindfulness is so important.
So important, yeah.
To know when you're, to be able to understand how you're feeling, not just physically, but also emotionally and even spiritually. Because if you're feeling someone once told me, always trust your intuition, or if your body is giving you some kind of sign, that's the first thing. Trust the signs shown.
And it also comes down to taking care of yourself. I think when you're in a high stress profession, then you really need to carve out that intentional time to exercise, to eat, to focus on your nutrition, to meditate, to practice mindfulness, and to do things that are just not brain rotting, to read or to learn something different or to educate yourself. So there's so many things that you need to be so intentional about, because you can just go to work the whole day and come home exhausted and then not want to do anything. And it's so prevalent now that people are doing.
You just want to go lie on the bed.
Yes, you just want to lie there and look at the sky and question your life choices.
But that's really happening in real life with a lot of people.
Yeah.
And if you think about it, right? It's how easy is it to just be sitting at a desk for a full hour, just focusing in front of the computer.
Yeah.
And you don't realize where the time
goes to.
You forget to eat. You bring your lunch. You forget to eat, or you don't want to take the break and go for a walk. And all those things add up.
And we don't realize to what extent it has such an effect on us.
And that's so important. Self-care is a big thing. And I think that if you look after yourself and you understand yourself and you're aware, that is something that can actually help tackle that stress. But I also think it's, like you said, it's the culture and supportive environments that can actually enhance that self-care of self. Because imagine you're in an environment where that doesn't support this, then you're going to have a problem, because you're going to feel so stressed about making sure you comply or do things or get things done. You're not going to focus on yourself.
Yeah, so a deep topic, Nadia.
It's stressful just thinking about it. But again, I think if anything, with the industry and the way it's evolving and the pace with which it's evolving, it's important that people prioritize mental health before it's too late.
Exactly. You don't want to be burnt out and not knowing which way to go.
Because then it's going to be a problem to backtrack.
It is going to be. And I mean, in the industry where we have such short skills, we can't afford to lose even one of you.
Yeah. And also, you wouldn't want to have this reputation of this being an industry where, people are not supported. Because imagine you have such amazing people to collaborate with and partner up with. But now if you don't get that support, that changes the way people see it.
Yeah. I think for the younger generation, it's just important to reiterate, maintain your boundaries and keep your boundaries and do things that feed your soul, it just can't be about work all the time. You can work hard in your career, but at the same time, those who do the best are the ones that have a good set of boundaries in place.
Yeah, boundaries are always important, and I think that's what's going to set you apart. And knowing yourself and being intentional with yourself in terms of looking after yourself, because if anything, we can say self-care is important. If you don't look after yourself, nobody's going to look after yourself.
If you want to look like us one day in your 70s.
Don't look too bad, do we?
We don't look too bad for 70.
Yeah. So comes any last words?
I would just like to say, and to any person that is out there right now in a stressful job, in a stressful situation, that prioritize yourself, because you really, really are important. And remember, there's your family, and you are not replaceable to them. And so if something happens to you, there's no way that you can ever be replaceable to your family. So look at the bigger picture and realize that, what am I doing this for at the end of the day? And know what your value is, and know what is your purpose when it comes to your career. Is your purpose to completely burn out and shoot the lights out by showing everybody that you're going to be working 24/7, or is your purpose to make a meaningful impact by having some considered views and some well thought of implementation for the way forward in the industry?
That's great advice. No, it's fill your cup.
Exactly. Fill your cup. Fill your cup first, then you can fill other cups.
Yeah, there's so much more, because then you can, it's a whole ripple effect.
What would you say, Nats?
Fill your cup and also refill it. Keep on refilling it. It's not a once-off thing. You need to find something that works for you. Nurture yourself. Look after yourself. Mind, health, body, soul. Do what is best for you. Do not feel guilty by prioritizing your health and your self-care, because I think it's very easy for us to feel that sense of guilt. Move away from shaming yourself and that guilt tripping, but look after yourself, because if you are in a best place, you are able to produce better and do much more diverse things, because your mind will be decluttered. So yeah, that's my thoughts on that.
If you have a boss that's keeping you up till late at night, leave that job.
Tell him to call us. We can coach you. But that's it from us. Until our next episode, stay tuned. Check us out on social media, on TikTok, Instagram, and LinkedIn, right? Until next time, bye.
Bye.